Hello and welcome to Heroes of the Mist. I am your host and game master, Hawk Robinson, and this is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2019, and episode 43. This will be the final episode for Season 1 of Heroes of the Mist. 43 episodes. Nicely done, everyone. First episode was June 24th, 2018. So,
Thank you for a great year.
Thank you for sticking it out, and I hope you had a good time.
Been a blast.
Good. Hopefully, folks will want to do season 2, but it'll be August or September before that would happen, and so there will be a summer break basically for the show. The backlog of episodes are still being made public, but the episodes are immediately available to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/RPG Research. But it's not too late to get involved in the show with this last episode for the season. So if you didn't catch the blurb before, hang out in the chat room, gain hero points, and better yet, donate and gain up a whole bunch of hero points so you can really mess with things on this last episode a whole bunch. And you can check out at missheroes.com, the audience interaction section. Did I just jinx the show?
Please don't say things like that.
I'm just wondering, considering I just donated $250.
Oh no. Oh, no.
But didn't you get your boss company to donate that?
Oh, that's true. Your boss gets the hero points.
Considering that I'm the only representative,
you get proxy hero points. Oh boy.
You have to get him to sign a waiver.
It's thick like this that has lead in it. This one, it's got to be thick like this. So if you would please. There should be little refill kits. I don't know where they all went.
Can we steal this one from you?
So anyway,
Okay.
when last
There you go.
we were here,
No, that's fine. I don't care.
it
I
was
just need one.
pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
You were dealing with General... What's that?
Not in a tent. It was kind of a pavilion.
Yes. It was an intensity in a pavilion.
It
not
was
an intent city.
It was a tent without walls.
Ish.
And if we had a wigwam and a TT, we'd be 2 tents. But
So anyway, General Vashtun was being very difficult, unruly, and problematic. It became clear to everybody that there was something wrong with him. It was believed he was possessed. And so everybody started to orchestrate a plan, a very dangerous plan that could have been catastrophic at so many levels, to try to stop him, seize him, drop him, tie him, whatever it took, and try to perform an exorcism, which was known was going to take potentially hours to
By the
perform.
power cord,
I
it
think
took
she
less
even
than
said
one.
possibly days.
Yeah, it would depend because it could be over 100 hours.
Cord's blessing is
So-
upon us.
So there was a lot of planning went on, and a lot of things went wrong, but things
A few
happened.
things went right.
And some things went right.
Hey,
So-
the laundry's done.
Yeah. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and your character, and then go ahead and give the perspective of your character's experience from the last episode of what happened, and then hand it off to the next person.
John Wilker, Vice President of RPG Research, and Lindale Stellifolium, High Elf Bard, mostly Druid. And I was facilitating and being the MC for these proceedings, doing musical interludes between breaks, and trying to convince people that there was a real threat coming from the North Ronders, and it has been taken care of in the form of an exorcism and appropriate use of my magics. But now we're just waiting to see whether or not we can resume the talks and get the actual final signatures, or do we have to move on without that final touch?
So Linda Lay's just kind of matter of fact about the whole thing then.
Yes.
Okay.
He's 500 years old.
Okay, so a little jaded, huh? Even though he's young by high elf standards.
True.
Yes. All right.
He's just got out of his rebellious stage, so he's starting to settle down.
He's in the been there, done that stage.
Yeah.
Hey there, I'm Adam. I'm going to be playing Torin, who is a prophetic horde. And so, anyways, we're at this meeting, right? You got this big guy with this cool trick he can do with his eyes, but kind of look different ways at the same time. And he's showing talk in the High Elf about it, and they seem pretty impressed. And anyways, we get through the meeting. It's kind of boring. I don't fall asleep. That's a good thing. And we have to tackle him because I guess he's possessed by evil spirits. So everyone, gets around and we all jump on him, hold him down, and the elf uses some dark magic to make the grass rise up and, encompass him. We get him hog-tied up, which was good. And then we perform an exorcising, and we use the sweat of our brow, made holy by the blessing of Cord, to cast out the demons in him. And it's pretty impressive. I sat there and I basically saved a man's soul by casting out the demons using the power of Cord. So
was it a demon or just a drow?
Oh, it is a demon. Oh, who else is going to possess someone?
Black
This is his
skin, white
perspective.
ears, pointy ears. Yeah.
I was unconscious by then.
That's true.
Yes. Torin does not get to see hot naked elf, so...
I'm Katie Coonan. I'm playing Moisha Turtlebomb. Moisha is the naysayer, doomsayer of the group. But Katie was too exhausted to continue playing, so missed the entire exorcism last week.
And get you the link to the video, huh?
No.
Okay. Well, hopefully Andy and Joe will fill in with some colorful perspectives as to what happened.
And if you have Patreon, you can go watch it now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if I watched it now, I wouldn't be able to participate.
That's true. All right. Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy Messersmith, and I am not liable for any damage done to one's eyes, either permanent or temporary, based on the glare from my skin. If you compare me to the other players, I'm like a blinding
always
light.
been finicky about the color.
Oh no, it's my skin.
So go quickly, stick your head between the two of them and see what happens.
Can't reach without getting up.
Once you get up and move over here.
I'm too lazy to get up right now. Maybe later. Maybe after the break.
Beautiful picture of Mendeley being drawn.
And I play Talk, who is a gnome illusionist, seeking to be a stage performer, a la David Copperfield, performing before grand crowds and famous people, in an effort to spread his name far and wide, and possibly find out his own origins. He's got a bit of an accent to him.
Oh, Wolverine.
Maybe a little dash of that. Except, I'm like fragile like a tissue paper, but
Other than that, other than not indestructible,
and don't have metal
only 3
claws or
feet
anything.
something tall, no adamantine
Wait.
claws.
Hey, Wolverine
doesn't regenerate.
Wolverine is traditionally short.
Okay.
He's only tall in the
Yeah,
movies.
but not 3 feet short.
No.
He's like 5'8". God.
No,
So how about
it's 5'6".
what you witnessed
He's the
happen?
same height
Kind
as
of
I
help
am.
fill in.
Man, but-
Katie here.
Yes.
And,
Well, I managed to single-handedly get the meeting back on course after a bit of diversion while I was away. I mean, I walk away for a few minutes and the whole thing just falls apart, of course. And we all learn finally of the, well, except Torin. Pretty much everybody else learns of the most likely possession. And I witness as he appears. What was his name again?
Vashtun?
Vashtun. I witnessed as Vashtun appeared to be mesmerizing
Oh, right.
poor Lindley.
Has such beautiful eyes.
And then he commanded me to look into his eyes as well. And I thought I'd, rather than backing away and letting him know how much I knew and suspected, I tried a gambit of hoping that if I surrendered myself to that pendant I've been carrying that seems to be talking to me, like, but not really talking, but kind of like suggesting wordlessly. Anyway, I thought maybe if I focused on that at that moment,
It might help protect you.
it might help protect me because I imagine whatever thing in that, which, you know, I'm totally going to get away with it. I can throw it away any time I want.
Precious.
Yes, it is very precious. Why do you ask? Thought whoever's controlling that would probably be a jealous mistress, and not want to share me with anybody else, as far as mind control goes.
You are completely correct.
Yes, I was correct.
In
but
the opposite way.
I was correct that most likely she is a harsh and jealous mistress, except I was trying to pit her against herself, as it may seem. Because I immediately surrendered into complete and total control. Compliance, that's a good word. Compliance, yes.
Subservience?
Yes, subservience, yes. Submissiveness. I became docile and open to suggestion.
Remember Gamers 2 when he's...
I have not seen it.
Oh,
I've heard good things. It's on my list.
okay.
Right up there with Casablanca and all the others ones.
You're a little behind on
Little
that.
different stories, but fun. Anyway, so what did you do then?
Well,
And what were some of the near consequences of that?
well, I of course did not get a chance to save against.
Yeah. Kind of negated that.
Yeah. I kind of just threw myself at them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I tried to stop the car by hurling myself in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
It usually works, but not always. So it became clear that what I had to do was protect Vashtun at all costs.
Yes.
And I had to get help for him.
According to the voices in your head.
Well, I mean, just because there was voices in my head doesn't mean anything. It was clearly the right thing to do.
Of course. Excellent.
I needed to help him and get help from his own people.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I was gonna nip off to the lavatory, or the bush around the corner of the nearest tree line. But I took a left turn at Albuquerque, it seems, and ended up heading towards the Northronders camp.
Mm-hmm. To do what?
To get help. That's all I knew.
Right.
To get help for Vashtun, tell him that he was in trouble. He was in danger.
Yes.
Meanwhile, his assistant had been alerted to the severity of the problem, and was sent on his way up to make sure that the Northronders all took off back to camp and stopped hanging around there, so that we could safely.
Joel, could you mute your microphone when you're not speaking, please?
Give it a shot.
Thank you.
Or just mute the paper. So he was coming up to make them go away, and I was coming up to make them come in closer. And I realized that I had to do this quickly. For some reason, I had this impulse that I needed to get this done quick. So I ran ahead as fast as my wee little legs could carry me, and told them all that he was in danger, and they were just about to...
They started to raise the alarm.
To do something when the assistant to Vashtun showed up and seemed to clear things up and also kind of shake me out of my stupor. So I felt a little bit disturbed by the incident and confused, and I just kind of meandered back to the dais to get there about the time that the exorcism was in full blow. There was grass tying things down. I was kind of staring off into space. I didn't pay too much attention to most of it because I was a little upset at my own things. Figured everybody else had it covered. Then I got a little bit. Then I got like shaken out of my little remorse when I saw two of my party members strip down and start wrestling and rubbing themselves all over the
I blacked
General
out.
Vashtun. I mean, it was
counted in great detail. So first off,
No, careful, family friendly. Be very careful.
well, Farhan took off his clothes much quicker than usual.
Wash my third eye with bleach.
And so that, of course, was confusing enough to get me started. But then I remembered, oh, it's them. Never mind, and just kind of relaxed. And eventually, the exorcism just keeps rolling out until out pops a oddly colored elf lady, naked as the day she was born.
But her hair was covering her carefully. Long
Yes,
hair,
of course.
Strategically
Yes,
placed.
she had long and
Silver
strategic
hair.
hair.
Like a Wookiee.
Not quite that hairy. Oh, and
Not quite that hairy,
acknowledgement of
and a little
his
bit more
passing, right?
strategic.
Mhm.
Yes. Sympathy for Peter Mayhew, his family, his friends, and all of his fans. I got out my stuffed Chewie and pushed his button that makes him talk and roar. I got him used. I already had a little one, but this one actually moved his mouth. That's impressive. Anyway, so they were getting ready to turn and face the drow.
Yeah, so remember, most people don't believe drow exist. And especially the wood elves claim that it's actually all the others as negative propaganda against elves.
It's probably just an elf with a skin condition. I mean, who knows what being completely inside another person could do to your skin? I mean, that's got to be bad.
Clearly, this is a false flag right here.
I mean, how are you going to get moisturized properly or oxygen in there?
The moisture's a given. The oxygen's harder.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, the right kind of moisture.
so that's about
man.
where, and then
Oh no! But first, one more thing. So, seeing that this was evidently the thing that was affecting me, or related to the thing that was affecting me, I was very mad, very angry, and I decided to do something that I said I'd never do, but held on to just in case I ever needed to, and tried to use my ring of torture, which nobody else knows about.
I don't recall you ever saying you wouldn't. I mean,
this was his own internal.
Yes,
Especially because
it's my
we never knew
internal
about it.
monologue.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Never
I mean,
say
even
never,
Harry
man.
Potter threw out all 3 unforgivable curses at one point, and somehow he's forgiven. So,
Yeah,
you know.
and you just said that in character. somehow you know about him in the multiverse.
Multiverse.
So somehow now we have to link
He was on a Quidditch
your
team.
character who knows some lore about somebody named Harry Potter, that legend.
I mean, he's
somewhere in the
crossing
multiverse.
dimensions.
Because he's not part of this part of the multiverse.
Oh no! See,
But maybe when you were working for
I stumbled across it while I was working with Tathar the Magnificent.
Magnificent. Nice. Everyone, that's great. Okay.
But unfortunately, she got beamed up or something and just vanished before me before I could get there. She probably saw it coming.
She got smote by who did the magic missiles? Okay, so we're gonna go to that.
Well, I just did my attack. Yeah,
Right.
they hurt her before that.
So let's go to Joe talking from River's perspective, and then Farhod's perspective.
Cool. I'm Joe Coonan. I play Farhad Guerion, a simple contract enforcement officer for a weaving concern in far-off Iridia. It's a completely legitimate business.
Was that directed at
I'm
Moisha?
also stepping in to play River, since Lillian had to step out. I'm just standing in to play River for her. River is a sea spirit folk, Wujen, who worships the god Ryujin of the sea. And she is from very far away, and she does not really understand or really like most of these people. They seem to be both barbaric and stupid, and mostly unpleasant all the time. So I figure if I just keep quiet, that, they'll talk to me less, and we could just get on with what we were supposed to do without having to, interact. So it was clear during some of the negotiations that one of the leaders, who was more unpleasant than most of the other people here, was in fact far more unpleasant than he normally is, and he seemed to be acting in uncharacteristic ways, and so there was some people talking to each other and whispering and things, and they decided he was possessed and they were going to have to do an exorcism. When they did that exorcism, there was what I call a yokai jumped out of him, some kind of dark spirit, and so I did the only wise thing to do. I shot a magic missile straight at her, hit her in the shoulder. She disappeared immediately. I didn't really do much damage, but I thought, when an unexpected evil force leaps out of a person, step one, kill it. Yeah.
Step two, repeat as needed.
Someone said, "Hello, how are you? Let's make friends." But he is the most unpleasant and dumb person in our party.
Currently.
So you fired magic missile at the darkness.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
You attack the darkness.
at the dark elf. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. All right. So now Farhod's experience.
So, we were having a very good day of negotiating. Everyone was listening, and everyone was having a meeting of the minds, but there was one man who, it seemed to me, he did not want to come to an agreement. The goal of negotiation is to come to an agreement of some kind, and it is, some people are more hard-nosed about what they will give up or what they will even do, and some people are just want to have everything written down. But this one gentleman, Vashtun of the North Ronders, he was an unreasonable man. He did not want anything badly enough to agree to anything at all. And so it was clear that any person who would not negotiate in good faith at a meeting such as this must be possessed of the devil. And so Lindale had an idea that maybe we could do something about that. We had fetched a very nice, frightening old dear woman who to come over and help us with that. She said it would be difficult. It turned out not to be that difficult. It only took a very short time. She said
40
hours
minutes.
a day, and it took maybe an hour.
Yep.
I think that she is over delivering but under promising. That's what I think. And that is a good way
business.
to get the
Like Scotty.
So, once we had things going sort of according to plan, I noticed that Talk somehow was doing something stupid. Running over to the North Ronders for some reason. It didn't look good. They started shouting at each other. So I said to Mushroom's assistant, hey, maybe go over there. Let them know we have an agreement. You can go to the lands that the elves have ceded. The 3 triplicate copies of the contract had already been signed by the Centaurs and the elves. It was only for Vashtun to sign them. And so since we had an agreement in principle, it was safe for the North Ronders to leave the field of potential battle and go to a field maybe of camping and eating. We sent Henrik Jan, what's his name? Yanni Janssen? Something like that.
Janssen.
Vashtun's assistant over to take care of such things. Now, when the exorcism began, Vashtun began to convulse and shake. He fell on the ground. He started
Johann
blistering
Schwitzen.
and boiling. His skin was very, very ugly, and I knew because young Torin and I, we are priests of Cord. I did not mention this before, but I am a fighter, a thief, and a priest of Cord. So, triple class. I told Torin,
Yet no
hey,
class
we
whatsoever.
need to lend our strength to this endeavor. There was no holy water, but we can make holy water with the sweat of our brows. And so we started doing push-ups and sit-ups and burpees. And then once we were nice and sweaty, Torin would wipe his body on him. I would just take my shirt, wipe off the sweat, and then wring it out on top of him. The sweat healed him. It did. It healed the skin of his body. It caused the boils and blisters to go away.
Praise Cord.
Yes, praise Cord. Praise him indeed. Praise him by doing more exercise. If you have not done your calisthenics today, you are not worshiping Cord correctly. And so, once we added the holy water to the mixture, boom! Bob is your uncle, and out jumped a woman who looked like an elf, but she could not be an elf because she had black hair and gray skin and black eye.
No, silver hair, black skin.
You say what you saw.
Okay, all right. Okay.
She could not have been an elf because
It was silvery
as
black.
everyone knows, there are the high elves, which I have half of one. There are the low elves, which live in the woods, and then there are like the traveling elves. They say there are elves that live in the mists, but I think they're probably more like pixies. You know, tricksters.
Yeah, and then there's the sea elves, the Aquariatus.
I don't believe in them.
Okay.
I come from desert land, and there are no elves that sail the waters. That would be dangerous.
There's no such thing as an ocean either.
An ocean is just like I've seen oceans that every town has one in the middle for drinking water.
Well, anyway.
Oh, well.
Okay. So, that happened. Poof, she disappeared. And that's where we left it at. So, Vashtun is tied up in the grass and clothing articles and rope and everything else you guys could throw at him to tie him in place. Torin was also kind of tangled up in that, right?
I got hacked free of the grass.
Okay.
We were all freed of the grass.
Okay.
The grass was receded. He was hogtied.
Okay,
he was
hogtied.
Though I
okay.
am currently sprawled in the grass because Lindley kicked me off of him when it is clear that I was being cold shocked during the exorcism.
Oh, right.
And
right.
I'm currently unconscious
That's right.
on the
I
grass.
believe he was
Zapped
reverse
into consciousness.
hogtied.
Yes, he was reverse
Yeah.
hogtied face down. Correct. And so part of this is for your benefit,
Yeah.
Katie, so that you're kind of up to speed. Stunned silence from everybody else there as this all happened. Looking around, you see that Karn had grabbed one of the chairs and was coming up running, wielding it as a weapon, but got there too late by the time she disappeared.
Talk trips while he's reaching out his hand with the ring on it, and just unmercifully tortures a blade of grass. Accidentally.
Roll for initiative.
And when he gets his butt kicked by the glass, it's all.
Grass. Don't get me in a fight with glass. I'll lose with that one. Grass, I can win.
But when she disappeared, Karn stopped with the chair over his head, also in stunned silence. Gennaro was actually running up as well, and there was a bit of a glow about her hands and such as she was coming up, like she was preparing something.
Moisha is very upset he couldn't kick her with his dwarf boots.
Yeah.
Finally, we got it. You can always kick Vashun.
And
Don't tempt me.
It's a good little stomping of like, high adventure. Kick him with your boots and hit him with a chair and just
and
stomp the elf in the grass.
Deathlock had pushed back General Ironcrest and had stood in front of him, and somewhere had pulled out 2 long knives and had them ready. So he had brought weapons to this. Wasn't supposed to.
Cheater.
Yeah. And the general, right shortly after she disappeared, the general disappeared in a pop, like just a split second after.
But Deathlock was left behind.
Deathlock was there in a guarded position, and then the general disappeared.
The elf general.
Yes.
Okay.
The reasonable of the 2 wood elves.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Deathlock is there with 2 long knives drawn.
Well, at least he signed the papers first.
Well, that was only part 1 of what you guys were hoping to pull off here, but yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'll start with Lindale. What do you do?
I've used all my spells. I've done everything I can do.
You see the wood elf Deathlock has drawn both his long knives.
Does it look like everybody else has noticed this?
No. Basically, you guys got to be in the right position that you can notice him. Everybody who's looking this way doesn't notice. If some of you are looking that way, you notice. But as you look around, you now notice. So each of you will be, as I come to you, now you'll start looking around to, everybody else is pretty much focused on what happened. Now it's right after that. You come out of the stun a little bit and look around, and then you're going to notice. So we're going to start with Lindale.
I go towards him.
Okay, you start towards him?
I start towards him and say in High Elf, peace, friend, the hostility is over. Let's not have any more.
He curses at you in Low Elvish, and then he yells out in his broken Sapientium, what kind of beguiling? What are you trying to trick us with here? This is more in your propaganda. We won't stand for it. So now you all hear.
Oh, he's
shout
one
out.
of those.
Torin, you're unconscious.
What evidence?
Moisha.
How dare you accuse us?
And he's got 2 long knives drawn.
How dare you accuse us?
And Talk.
Where'd she go? I climbed to my feet.
Okay. River.
River is just kind of looking what's going on and, observing it all, and she doesn't really have much to say. She wants to pretty much see what everyone else is going to do.
Okay. And Farhad.
Friend, Deathlock. No, I understand. There are people who would look at that and say, that was a dark elf. But you and I know, no such thing as dark elves. Only 2 kinds of elves. High elves, and you guys.
He charges towards Talk. He leaps over the table and runs full speed at Talk. Everybody roll initiative to see if anybody has a chance to intervene.
One bull roarer coming up.
Wants to. Ooh, it's going to be a tough one.
Oh, wait, wrong dice. 6. Roll 6-sided dice for this.
So I did either. Oh, okay. I was doing what everybody else did. I rolled a 20.
I got a 6.
Okay.
What'd you get?
I'm unconscious.
Yeah, you're unconscious.
Oh, yeah, you got a negative 4.
2.
Okay. River?
Oh, I didn't roll for River.
Yeah.
River got a 4. Farrah got a 5.
Okay.
Can you get a
So,
bonus on this for high dex?
What is your dex, Lindalay?
My dexterity is 19, so plus 4 reaction.
All right, you just barely broke the tie with that.
Okay.
So he is charging with his long knives straight at Talk, and he looks intent to kill him.
Okay, I want to try.
But you will be able to do something before.
I want to attempt to trip him with the bull roar.
All right, roll an attack strike.
It's a weighted. It's a weighted roll.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
And then he
can I get my
falls on
dex
me
on
with
there?
his
'Cause that's
dagger.
obviously
Go for it.
okay.
Is this where I would get to roll lawyer you and hurt you?
So 9 on a trip attack, and he just walks right over it. Whip it out there.
Yeah, he leaps over that.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you get nothing but air as he leaps over that. All right, and he comes down with his 2 knives on attempting to skewer Talk. As he yells, "Your illusionist tricks!"
Can I get some sort of bonus reaction because I've only recently left the service of Tathar the Magnificent,
Magnificent.
and became very aware of things falling on me from above. And I've been constantly nervous of things suddenly falling on me from the ceiling. I have been paranoid.
Hypervigilant, traumatized.
Yes.
By your previous
I'm getting over it, but not complete.
You're still in the, I mean, we don't know if it's going to be PTSD or not, but you are still in the trauma recovery phase.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be PTSD because it's echoes.
Okay, all right.
So this is sort of the exact sort of
What
thing
is
that
your
I'm.
armor class?
My armor class is 8.
Ouch.
Yes.
I'm not sure I can
Roll that low.
buff. That I can buff you up enough.
Plus 25.
Let's see here. Okay, well, the good news is his first knife does miss anyway. It was such a bad roll.
Hooray. Bad news is start rolling a new character.
You managed to roll out of the way as he skewers the grass in both places that you were just moments before. Your hypervigilance and his clumsiness paid off. More his clumsiness, but still. So you roll to the side. All right, so who had a 5? Farhad. All right, Farhad, what do you do?
Farhad doesn't have any weapons on him. He does have the strength of cord.
And a sharp quill pen.
Oh, he also has dung beetle paste. Do you have time to just get a fingerful and wipe it on his face?
With a successful to hit, yes.
Cool. All right. Sweet. That's what Farhad is going to try. Just to distract him.
Okay.
It's not a damage. There's no damage. It's
No
just
damage, but just see if you hit him and succeed
horrible
in doing that. Yeah, go ahead and see if you hit.
Yeah. Cool. Nope.
What'd you get?
It bounced out.
It went away. 9.
Okay.
Plus.
Yeah, so you go to try to wipe it on him, and he doesn't know what you're trying to do, but dodges aside. And Karn takes a swing at him with the chair.
Nimble little minx.
Smacks him in the face.
Hooray!
Full strength bonus. It's only an improvised weapon, but so smacks him in the face. You hear his nose break. And it knocks him back.
That's a big hint if you hear the nose break.
Yeah, a big crunch. And right behind him, leaping over the table and come up right behind him is, and I suddenly blanked on his name, the centaur. Where's my notes? Not the Tizzle. Horian Swiftfoot.
Yeah.
Living up to his name, right? He's kind of slow and plodding. Leaps over and in an instant is there. And... Don't make me do all the math for that. Whoa, Wilbur. Okay. Yeah, but grabs both arms of the of Jeslock and picks him up from behind, holding him up in the air. So at the forearms, right? And he dwarfs. This is a big horse to begin with of a person.
Oh, we don't use that word.
Centaur of a person.
Dwarfs.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Horse. I said horse.
You said he dwarfs him.
Oh. Oh, come on.
we don't use dwarf as a verb.
So picks him up, holding him by the forearms,
It's
and
offensive to the little jiggies.
just grips onto the forearms to try to get him to release the knives. He's not able to, but he is holding them. So it's a strength of will there. And then he's like, steady, easy there, stop, as he's trying to stop
Whoa.
him. Yeah, exactly. All right, who had a 4? All right, Moisha, what do you do?
He tried to kill Talk.
Yep.
I go up and kick him with my dwarf boots.
There'll be a little bit of a jump kick. 'Cause
I
he's
will
been
jump
lifted
kick.
up.
Right to the
I
groin.
am
for it.
angry.
Roll
but I
an
am not
attack.
pulling a weapon.
Okay, yeah, roll a d20.
8.
You kick air because you didn't quite get enough launch because he's being held up high
But
enough.
he's subdued. That's easily a +4.
He's up in the air, and that's a dwarf.
White dwarfs can't jump.
Right.
I think you're being racist
At least
here.
Taylor dwarves can't. All right. No, I'm being heightist.
I mean, surely she could have kicked him square in the ankle.
Yeah. As if that's any different from your normal life.
Right, exactly. Does River do anything?
Yes, River is going to use hypnotism. Does she have that? You got
Yes, she has
Yes,
that.
yes. That,
Oh, what did she roll? I forget.
She was a 4 on initiative.
Okay, yeah. That's it. Okay.
So
Okay.
she's gonna try to
Sure, save on
hypnotize Deathlock
There's
just to
a
calm
save.
him.
Okay.
Maybe put
Oh,
him to sleep
but-
if possible.
Save versus spell, even though it's a charm, because it is a spell.
Yeah, does it count as a charm immunity or
It was spell.
Yeah, it's
a
spell.
spell? Okay. Oh, don't even worry. Not even close. He relaxes, looks into her eyes.
it's like, you're in a trance?
Yeah, it was really suggestive, easily suggestible fellow, apparently. Some people are more so than others. So,
Don't you think those knives are heavy? You should let go of them.
ping, ping, they both drop.
You did a very good job today, helping your general negotiate. You deserve a rest. Go to sleep now.
I don't know if it can do that much, can it?
Well, it's a suggestion.
Yeah.
I think you can't do anything that would be against their normal.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I don't know how. But okay, well, let's just, for the sake of this, let's just go for that. Although we'll have to be careful about setting a bad precedent. Don't use this as a precedent. We want to.
Well, it only lasts one round, and
Oh, then that was all you could do is drop the knives.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but that's helpful. Okay, and then Farhad. Oh, he already did his. Karna did his.
It's one round per
Dranera
level.
comes up.
3 rounds.
So,
Oh, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Does it say anything about being able to tell them to go to sleep or anything like that? Because it's not a sleep spell.
It has to be a reasonable suggestion.
Yeah. So
you probably got drowsy, but not to fall asleep.
Yeah. But Dranera comes up and just does shh, and you see her rub a liquid over his face, and as does so, he kind of and does pass out.
She's got the best perfume.
Or else it's really noxious.
Oh, these zonkers.
Okay, so he's now subdued. Rorian's still holding up like this, kind of looking around awkwardly about what to do now because he's slumped there.
Make a wish.
Someone want to take him?
this seems like a job for Klaus.
No, but why don't you just lay him down?
Klaus is, over in the corner staring at Vashtun in shock.
I don't think
Okay.
his general even wants him.
General left already. So, are there elves out there? What elves that can be summoned over here?
You see the wood elves are arming up. They're like lining up at the edge. They haven't charged, but you see they've come. They're mustering. both horses and on foot. More than 100 of them so far. But they're staying back the 600 feet back still, but they are mustering. Yeah.
Lord Swiftfoot, General Swiftfoot, I
Yes.
suggest we take him back to his people and calm them.
I don't think I'm the best person for that. One of you should do it.
Farhad,
Oh, yes, I can do it. I get along with everyone.
So
And
he
you're
hands-
so strong.
He's still holding by the forearms. He offers to you the limp form of Deathlock.
Farhad takes him sort of fireman's carry style on the shoulders.
Now, for those of you that aren't aware, Joe played this character Deathlock in a former version of the Worlds of Beirut campaign back in 2013.
I'm the reason why the Wood Elves all think that the Drow are a myth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you helped contribute to that. I mean, it was part of it, but he took it to a whole new level of the propaganda twist.
Yeah.
That it was trying to badmouth elves and wood elves and all of that. Yeah, he is the cause of it.
Thanks, Joe.
And so his character is now carrying what a former character of his in the multiverse from another. Anyway,
so
Inception.
so the universe
It's meta.
it's very.
so the
meta.
universe could collapse at any second.
Yes.
All right, so you put him over your shoulder.
Maybe
Like
Lindley,
soldier.
maybe you could go as well, but kind of stay behind and let Farhad do the talking unless he needs help.
So you're this calm after that elf just lunged at you with his knives.
It's better than what I've gotten shaken out of my own stupor
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
You know, this is it's like
Okay.
it's like a splash of hot coffee to the face.
Checking, just checking. Okay, cool.
Of course I will go. Singing a traditional peace treaty song, if there is such a song.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Actually, I believe it's I'm a Little Teapot.
My chord.
All right, so the two of you are carrying Deathlock to the Wood Elves, and are you going rapidly or calmly?
Calmly.
Sauntering.
Sauntering. All right, that works. All right, so the three of you are heading that way. Dranera then stoops and looks at Torin and takes out a vial from under her robes, props up his mouth and pours a liquid inside. And 12 hit points.
All
Some good
right.
Are
whiskey.
you conscious?
Very much so.
How negative were you?
I was only like -1,
Okay,
so
okay, good. So you come to, there's really nasty taste
Ah!
in your mouth. But
it tastes like urine.
Dranera's leaning over you, holding your head up.
So you got one more hit point than I do right now at full health.
Are you okay, Torin?
Did we do it? What happened? Blacked out.
It worked.
You turned into a fish again.
Whew, why is it so cold out?
So you see a couple of knives sticking in the grass not far away. You see Farhad carrying Deathlock over his shoulder alongside Lindley walking towards the Wood Elves. You don't see the Wood Elf General around. You see right near you the Centaur Quarry and Swiftfoot near you. Clearly, more things happened while you were out.
All right, so I try and stand up and hopefully don't fall flat on my face in the process.
Okay.
All right, what's happening? Was there a fight? Where's the general? What's going on? Whose eyes are those? Hey, those are nice.
Okay, so Moisha?
There was an exorcism.
I remember that part.
Okay.
And we got him?
We got him.
All right. Exercising demons, preach the cord. Yeah.
And then Deathlock tried to kill Talk with those knives.
Why did he do that?
I do not
Because
know.
I'm so
He
good
is
looking.
crazy.
Well, that's what
I heard him say that.
All I'm going to say is that I mean, that paper they sign, that's about as much good as you can wipe with, is all I'm saying. But still.
Ooh. All right. Talk.
It's a good thing that both Deathlock and Farhad are out of earshot for that because he just in one sentence insulted wood elves and contracts.
River, who is there?
River is sort of composing herself. She's sitting back down. She's making sure that her clothing is not ruffled or anything. And she pulls out a little sachet of tea leaves. And just smells them.
Okay. All right.
My fingers, my armpits.
So Farhad and Lindalay arrive at where the wood elves are mustering. By the time you get there, there's more than 150 of them lined up in layers, about 50 wide, and then 3 layers deep. Who wants to speak?
Oh, Farhad always wants to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Friends, great news! Your compatriot Deathlock here is a hero. He helped
What
save
language?
these
What language are you using?
The right
Farhad
one.
does not speak. Where's my language list? I have a list of my languages somewhere. I speak a lot, but I don't think I speak Wood Elf. Oh, common. Elven, Iridian, Gnome, Halfling, Goblin, Hobgoblin, Orcish, Gnoll, and Thief Cat.
So common would be Regnum Sapientium.
Right, exactly.
And your elven would be whatever half elf you are.
High elf.
Mine's high elf, but it's I didn't grow up with high elves.
Right.
I speak high elf like a high school kid speaks Latin.
We didn't teach Latin. We didn't learn Latin in high school.
I did.
I didn't. So it depends on the high school.
Yeah.
So it's all in common.
Yeah.
Friends, great news. Your compatriot Deathlock is a hero. He saved the negotiations. The fighting is over, and it's all thanks to him.
So Wood Elf pushes his way through and comes up to you and tells the others to lower their weapons for the moment and says, "What has happened to him?"
So, much of the fighting is due to some evil magic that was done on the North Run leader. Some kind of dark, foul spirit had possessed him.
But we
and there was
watch.
an exorcism.
Where is General?
The general, he disappeared. And my assumption was that he did so to protect himself. Perhaps it was a protection spell so he could go back and report on the good news of the negotiations. Here's the copy of the contract.
He takes it from you and looks at it and says, "Not read this. I take to Prince."
Yes, everything there is stated plainly. But when the exorcism began, was completed, and the evil spirit was driven out of that Northronder, Deathlock leapt into action. He had.
You can see he's trying. He's having a lot of trouble with many of your words. He's trying to understand.
I switched to Elven.
Okay.
And it's not my first language or my second. So,
Right.
But yeah, it's a language that I have a proficiency in.
True.
When
You might want
the
to.
evil spirit was driven out of the North Run leader, that spirit disappeared, and the general, he also he disappeared. But Deathlock leapt into action.
I see. Deathlock attack.
Yes, he did. He wanted to make sure that the exorcism was genuine and not an illusion. And I think he's made his point.
You notice
He was
me.
a very shrewd negotiator.
Okay.
You notice me pacing a little bit, a little uncomfortable, and then I kind of give you a little nudge with my elbow as you're talking.
I'm sorry, I only heard half of that.
You notice I'm looking a little uncomfortable next to you, and I nudge you. And I whisper into your ear you speak Gnomish, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I speak in your ear in Gnomish that the Northronders have not signed that contract.
It will be done. It'll be fine. So, everything is as it should be. Take this contract back to your prince. We were going to send the centaurs back to their lands. The Northronders will be camping in the North Quarter, as the general agreed. You can see this is the general's signature.
What do you point to?
The general's signature on the contract.
The other general.
Oh, the Wood Elf's signature. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ignore this blank
Now,
space.
it's more important that Ironcrest agreed to it than, anything else.
That's
they're gonna
Farhad's
see that
reasoning
now
anyway.
and be able to,
Okay.
draw their own conclusions. That exorcism, though, it was just too much. And so Deslok, he needs some rest, and he needs someone a place to recuperate.
So the Wood Elf who's speaking to you points to two others that speaks to them in Wood Elven. They put their weapons away and they come up and take Deslok's body from you. Yeah, not dead, just unconscious body.
Yeah.
And carefully, very respectfully, carry him. They look like they're afraid. They're afraid to take him off. It looks like they're actually afraid that they will wake him or something. They look very nervous handling him.
Mm-hmm.
So they take him back into the ranks.
Oh.
So, peace made.
The fighting is ended for now. When winter ends and spring comes, there may be more negotiation to be done. But for now, the fighting is done.
Good till spring.
Good till spring.
Good. I tell Commander.
Perfect. Thank you for your service.
If General leave, I know where. We go check.
Oh, perfect.
Safe spot. He barks some orders,
Right.
and a branch of about 15 of them break off on their horses and start riding back into the woods quickly.
Go.
We wait here for now.
Oh, sounds good. We'll return back to the pavilion and finish up the minor details.
Okay. He nods. Okay. So you two head back. Meanwhile, back
Why
to
do my
the
hands
ranch.
hurt so much? Ow! Are you supposed to be that color? Ah!
Moisha?
Hey, Moisha, you got something for this? Like, I don't know, like some sort of salve or maybe a tea? Would you use a tea?
Basically like liquid nitrogen blisters and such.
I've probably got an ointment or something, but come with me. I'll see what I can do.
Ow! It's really
Moisha
stinging.
just wants to check something. He is not happy.
Vashtun's laying there, face down.
Vashtun is not the problem.
Okay.
Anymore. Currently.
Yeah. Talk. He's still hogtied in reverse, face down in the grass,
yeah.
unconscious.
Talk. He nods to Swiftfoot, and picks up one of
The long knives.
Deslok's knives,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, they're slightly curved long knives, richly ivory handles, richly
like a
ruined,
short sword to me.
richly ruined. Yeah, for
Oh,
you,
it's
a
not
short
magical,
sword.
or he would have hit you.
What's that?
Obviously not magical, or he would have hit you.
You don't know that.
Because he was really clumsy.
Yeah. Beautifully
Drunk with rage.
Written, on with all sorts of complex runes and such, and Elvish script and such.
Okay. So I take the knife and I turn towards Vashtun and walk up to him.
Okay.
And
to Torin, Moisha. So Torin, you're off getting your hands taken care of.
Yeah.
Moisha, you're helping.
Yeah.
Karn's standing nearby. Klaus is still staring at Vashtun in shock. The Hibsel has come running up. So you've got Florian and the Hibsel nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do?
And I reach down with the knife and cut his bonds.
Okay. All right.
Better if he wakes up, comfortable on his back than tied up on his
You hear
stomach.
Karn start to protest and then stop himself when he realizes probably what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Add a little drama there.
Yeah. So, kind of like a spring being set loose because he was all bound up and all, he's very muscular and all those muscles were under a lot of tension. So, kind of like spring goes flat, his feet out and his hands down. He's still face down. And you hear him give a, ugh, but he still seems to be unconscious.
Can anyone help me get him rolled over?
Klaus, kind of dazed, walks up and offers to give you a hand. Karn stoops down as well. And,
If he wasn't practically a giant, I could do it myself.
But yeah, Klaus and between Klaus and Karn, they do the lion's share. But you do your part and you roll him over carefully.
I help lift his left foot over the other one.
Okay, and so he's now laying flat on his back. His breathing slowing down. It was still quite rapid and is getting slower and calmer, but he's still not responsive.
Can anybody do any sort of healing work on him? I'm not sure how much that
Hibbity Nibbity comes up,
hurt him,
and looks over him. And
it didn't look terribly comfortable.
He is near death. Yes. Definitely near death.
All right, could we make him farther from death?
I'll try. So she does some chanting.
Take him away from death a little bit, just a few feet or so.
So puts her hands on him. Your hair stands up on end for a brief bit, and his beard goes a little bit and settles down, and
clear.
You see a lot of the welts recede a little bit. They're not gone, but they recede a little bit, and his breathing really starts to normalize. And you see his eyes trying to open, like he's right on the verge, but he kind of goes back. The rest is beyond my ability to heal, but his body should get better. Sorry, wrong voice there. His body should get better. Yes.
I have no idea where that sentence was going, but the content of the message was, did Schmitzen go with the rest of them, or did he come back once he got them all rolled?
He escorted them, and the understanding is he was going to come back once he made sure they were well on their way.
Okay.
He hasn't come back yet.
Okay.
So his intent was to come back as quickly as possible, but to make darn certain they were out of sight first.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah. So hopefully they'll be here before too long.
All right.
River's still doing her thing, avoidant thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Farhad and Lindale, you come back to the group. You see that Vashtun is untied and on his back, looks a little better than he did before. The Hibsel and Centaur are standing over him, as well as Karn and Klaus, and Talk.
Yeah, he's not so much near death anymore as death adjacent.
Yeah. And Torin and Moisha are over. Looks like Moisha's applying something to Torin's.
We were just going over that. Would it be stuff for curing frostbite, stuff
Yes.
for curing burns, or stuff that was just the kind of like
Jojo
joint muscle? Or,
Frostbite.
Oh, it is the
Okay.
frostbite.
Yeah, the
Frostbite,
Jojo.
okay.
okay.
Yeah. The yo-yo-yopo.
Yo.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
then.
not
Yo-yo.
sure. They don't
That's
really
how
say
I
it
would have
again.
done it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like jojoba.
Yeah.
Jojo.
Could be.
Sorry.
Yo Hojo.
It could be yo. It could be jo. It could be ho.
It's all of them, depending on what
yeah.
region
Yo-yo.
Regnum
Exactly.
Sapientum.
All right, then.
we're
How many
in.
doses do I take off of this?
Did it say how? What?
Not my notes.
2 to 20 hit points from cold
Okay.
from one dose.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll that and see how you do.
Okay.
So it's 2 die 10.
Oh, 2 die 10? Oh.
Oh, you said 2 die 20. So 2.
No, I said
2 to 20.
20. Yeah. So 2 die 10.
Oh, 2 to 20. Okay. 5.
Okay. So yeah, you heal 5 hit points. So it helps.
Ow.
It helps. Yeah.
We'll do a few more later.
There may be some scarring left over. So, yeah. But it helps him, definitely. All right, so Linda Lay, you're back.
I want to...
Like the 2 die 20. You should have just left it at that.
Okay, that was good.
I approach our unconscious friend and I try to see if there's anything else that he needs, if he's going to come around or whatever.
Okay. Well, how do you make that assessment?
I feel for a pulse. I
Yeah, he's
open
breathing.
his
You can
eyes.
see him. His eyes are kind of moving around a little slowly.
Do they react to light?
Not yet.
Okay, he's going to be down for a little while.
Yeah.
All right.
But, she says, he's no longer at death's door. He'll live. But his spirit is badly damaged. It may be some time before he comes back. Before he wants to come back. If ever. He might never come back. Who knows what horror he's been in.
I can help with his mind if he wakes up enough to drink.
Also?
Hochfor? It's
I don't know that one.
flower that you ingest. I think that's hallucinogens, but it says cures mind loss and mental
Disease?
disease.
So it's an hallucinogen.
But it cures mind loss
Yes,
and mental
but
disease.
you'll make him hallucinate. in the
Maybe get him to
process.
sign the contracts
PTSD,
first.
no, what is that called? PCP, no, LSD, that's the right.
right.
Losing this guy with diamonds
Yeah,
works.
Right. We're not advocating.
With
Remember, family friendly here.
with a doctor's
Yeah,
prescription.
medical use. All right. Well, let us see how he does first. Give him a little time to recover. Farhad?
Farah doesn't really have any purpose, and but yeah, he's not a healer. He can't do much. So he's gonna go over and sit next to the river. Does that smell good? She just eyeballs him. So I guess that probably smells pretty good if you're just sitting here, I don't know, not helping. Can't you heal people? Don't you have some sort of special abilities? Farhad, there are enough people doing enough things right now that I don't need to do anything. This is the best thing I can do right now. Center myself and prepare for what comes later. What comes later? Farhad, I don't know what comes later. That's why I need to prepare myself. Oh, yes. I also don't know, but I'm sure it will be good.
It is something known as Taco Tuesday. We know not what it means, but it fills us with both awe and
Is that
dread.
your character's favorite day? Your character
In
talks.
Farhad's case, though, it's Talko.
All right, Torin?
Ow, ow, ow.
Okay. Moisha?
I still want to kick something.
Okay. Do you find something to kick?
A tree, maybe?
Yeah, I
There
go
are no
and
trees here. They're all blasted away.
I-
There's pavilion poles.
I
keep
go
going to corpses.
kick at rocks.
Okay.
I just
Do you do
stomping.
the point of hurting yourself, or just...
Steel-toe
No,
boots.
I've got my
Okay.
dwarven boots
So you're
that are.
crushing rocks with your boots.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm furious.
Okay. All right. Cool. All
So
right.
what do we do now, anyways? What do you mean I can only apply this once every 4 hours, not to exceed 3
Written
doses?
on the back of the leaf.
If blisters exceed 4 hours, call a doctor immediately.
Does it have to be in that order, or it can be in any order?
Oh, no. Just all of them at the same time.
At the same time?
Nightmare
Pretty much,
fuel.
yeah.
Nightmare fuel.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Anyway.
You're off the Secret Santa list.
Santa. Oh, no.
So everybody's kind of like, now what do we do?
Wait for people to wake up. So how are we going to get him to sign this fad?
Clara's over talking to River.
Yeah, I'm going to head over there. So I can't help there. I'm going to go over
Okay.
there. Do we just put his thumbprint on it?
Karn,
Yes. He walks over.
how would a man like Vashtun sign a contract like this? Would he do it in your Northrond script? Would he do it with an X, with a blood print? What?
He's literate enough. He would sign.
Does he write in the common tongue? Does he write in what script?
It would depend. He knows Latinius, so he would probably, for this, use Latinius.
Excellent. Very good.
But the style of his signature I know not.
Oh, you misunderstand, my friend. I would never ask someone to sign a contract instead of someone else, unless explicitly as their proxy. To falsify any information on a contract is the most grave of dishonorable acts that I can imagine.
Agreed.
I was just curious. Sometimes for some people, a handprint or a thumbprint is good enough, and if that were the case, there's nothing wrong with his hands.
Indeed.
But that's not the case, and so we must have a proxy of his signed things. I shall write up a document of proxy. And so Farhad starts writing up a contract of attorney in fact.
Okay. All right.
You work pro bono?
No, it's not pro bono. It's never pro bono. We will get passage through here. We will, yeah.
That's
Not
the
for
plan.
nothing.
That's the plan.
Also, nobody's heard of you two here.
Yeah.
Or Sonny and Cher.
Okay. All
No
right.
bonos or bonos.
So Moisha's crushing rocks. Karn and Farhad are speaking. River is centering. Drenera, Rorian, and Hibbity Nibbity are all looking over Vashtun. Drenera is outside of the pavilion. Seems to be praying or chanting or something. Yes, Torin.
What time of day is it?
It is by this point, because you guys started early. Let's see what they have on here. 40 minutes. It is only about 11:30 in the morning.
That's quick.
There's a lot happened. You guys started at 8:30, so a lot happened.
All right. Torn goes reading around his pack and gets lunch.
Okay. That seems, yep.
Like wanders back over, just like munching on something.
Okay. All right. Okay, playing your instrument.
Talk will approach Hibbity Nibbity.
Okay.
And would it be all right if I spoke with you in private for a moment?
But of course, the door. Come this way. She walks on outside the pavilion back to the northwest corner.
Thank you, an excellent job dealing with that. I don't know where we would have been without you or someone with your skills and experience.
Yes, definitely fortunate.
Yes. So thank you. You've really saved the day.
You all did your part, it looks like.
Well,
my being alone there I couldn't have done it anyway.
Well,
they would have killed me long before I could have done anything. So all of you did your part. Although I'm not sure what you were doing. Why were you going up to the Northlands? What was that all about?
I did a few.
Like you were warning them or something.
I did a few parts. Some good and some bad, unfortunately.
What do you mean?
You know what he had?
Yes. She now backs away, looking very worried.
I think I may have a wee little bit of that.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well,
You're now feeling resistance to saying it.
Here, look at me through this.
Okay. She carefully takes it, peers through.
That was what Vashtun looked like all over. But I just got a bit of it, you see. But
all through your belly.
But I did. But apparently, I didn't have it earlier until I.
Turn around.
Okay.
Oh, it's up your back to here.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. But you
that
think
is not the same.
It's not the same, but it's similar.
What happened? How did this happen to you?
What?
Carefully hands you that back.
Thank you. It happened sometime after I spoke with Vashtun, and he asked me to look in his eyes. And it may be connected with something I've been carrying around with me for a while.
That resistance again. What do you mean?
It's a thing. Just a
what kind of thing?
A trifle that I found along the way.
Let's see it.
It's probably nothing.
You feel like a heat sensation where it is right now, and just a feeling of loathing that she wants to steal it from you.
It's probably nothing. Never mind. Forget I said anything about that. But could you?
She now looks very worried.
But could you maybe do something about the swirling blackness or whatever? That's.
It'll be tomorrow before I can recover enough to do anything about that. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right.
Maybe you should tell your friends and maybe have them restrain you just in case you do something else you don't want to do. It looks like it's controlling part of you.
I see. You will not be finding out.
Let's get to the sweat lodge.
And now I'm picturing a 60s Batman scene segue. To the sweat lodge.
Okay. Tell you what, I will talk to your friends for you.
All right.
She prances on quickly over to Farhad. Farhad.
Yes?
Your friend over there, talk. He might be having some sort of small version of possession or something.
Well,
I would be very concerned and keep an eye on him, and possibly you may want to restrain him. And she says this loudly enough for anybody nearby to hear that. Moisha, you're too busy crushing rocks.
Okay.
But Torin, you overhear it. Lindale, you overhear it. River's right there.
Why does the little one need to be tied up?
Luckily, the power of cord never wanes.
I think it would be wise for you to restrain him very soon, sooner rather than later.
Hey,
There's
what?
no telling what he might do.
Hey, did he get possessed?
It seems like he's on the verge of it.
Well, whoosh.
Just a smidge possessed.
Yeah, I just cooled off. I gotta get warmed up now again.
But I will need to rest and pray, and I cannot do it again until tomorrow.
Balron.
Can we look at what River's available spells are for the rest of the day?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Meanwhile, everybody roll your wisdom.
Chameleon.
Joe, roll twice.
Comprehend languages. Detect magic. Drowsy insects. Hypnotism. No history.
Sorry, will you do that again? I was rolling.
Chameleon.
Uh-huh.
Comprehend languages.
No, yeah.
Detect magic.
Uh-huh.
Drowsy insects.
Uh-huh.
Hypnotism. No history.
Uh-huh.
Magic missile. Read magic. Shield. Still water. Swim.
Uh-huh.
Sinking. Unseen servant. Wall of fog. Water. Purity.
Projection?
Probably.
Purity?
Purity. Oh, yeah, water purity. Yeah, purify water.
Purity. Whatever.
Procure?
None of
PRO.
those are...
Produce?
Detect evil. ESP. Ice knife. Invisibility. ESP could be useful. Ice knife, invisibility. Knock. Locate object. Strength. Whispering wind. That's it.
Okay, I knew she had magic powers, but not that many.
And martial arts, a whole bunch of abilities that she just like barely used. So, what did you roll for your wisdom check?
$15. Under 12.
Okay.
15 of 14.
Over 12. What did you
Exactly. 15 of 14.
get? Okay.
3 of 16.
Okay.
7 out of 12.
Okay. River?
Farhad is 3 out of 10, and River is 11 out of whatever she's got.
18.
Okay.
Something
So most of us
ridiculous.
are pretty
Those who
intelligent.
succeeded feel like you're being watched by somebody southeast of you. Like the tree line, that's where the tree line's the closest. It's only about 300 feet away there. It's actually, not far from the Infernium. You feel like something is watching from the trees.
Do I get to
there.
use my back
All
protection
of you
skill?
succeeded in your wisdom check.
Wisdom is 11, by the way, for her.
As you kind of get this kind of prickly feeling on your back and look that direction, you see a huge murder of crows come flying up out of the tree line out of there and start flying in this direction.
Why did you have to steal those things?
And coming from that direction, you see dark clouds gathering, very localized dark clouds gathering from that direction, creeping over the horizon rapidly this way with little jags of lightning shooting out. About 5 miles away, but moving rapidly this way.
That's no good.
And coming out of the tree line, you see 2 cats come walking out of the tree line. Just kind of saunter on out and stop at the tree line and look at all of you from 300 feet away. They
Are
sit
we
down
all
in their
divested
catway
of our
and watch.
weapons, I presume?
Yep, they're all back 600 feet that way to the east with the wood elves. Except for these 2 long knives.
And my weapons, because they all look like musical instruments.
Well, Mendelay's not aware, Torn's not aware, Karn's not aware, Klaus is not aware,
I go pick up one of the long
Daenerys
knives.
aware. Okay. He and Talk has one of the long knives. Okay.
Sweet beloved coin! Look at that!
Then everybody looks, and now you see a murder of crows in the sky flying this way, dark clouds gathering to the south. That feeling of being watched, you think, is probably coming from those 2 cats, and at the same time, you hear Vashtun give a.
Moisha is ready to kill cats without guilt.
Because you've been guilty for a long time about that one cat. Now you see all of that, thanks to Farhad pointing it out loudly. And we will leave it at that for the break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Hey.
You have time to think about what you're going to do.
Thanks,
We'll be
internet
back
trolls.
in 10 minutes. Well, these events brought to you by GeminiSignProducts.com and our friendly neighborhood Dan, who talked them into a $250 donation to RPG Research.
Nice.
Kind of
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dan. There's no season 2
massive
now.
hero points because of that. And he is using them all at once.
Or
Why
not
crows?
so friendly.
Yeah, well, there was a little sarcasm there. But we'll be back. And remember, this is the last episode for the season. So if you want to use your hero points, now's the time. We've got one half of the show left to go. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Well, you're helping us make it a climactic moment.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're rescue crows.
The things that first you thought were dangerous. We'll be back in 10 minutes. See you.